Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network, back in action. Once again, Swift MotorSports gonna hit the high banks here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The High Rollers 187 just around the corner, qualifying halfway over. A handful of drivers still yet to put in their qualifying times. Nice, cool night here in Sin City. We're going to see which one of these drivers want to gamble tonight and which one hits the jackpot, ends up with the showgirls celebrating in victory lane. We're going to get to that in just about, I'd say about hour and a half or so of racing action in store for us here tonight. So let's get rid of the track information. Go ahead and drop some of the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. 14 drivers on the speed charts right now. Justin Gann behind the wheel of his Toyota Supra. Fast time here in qualifying belongs to that number 30 machine. 29.50 flat. Great time there by Gann. John McMillan Jr. finished in the top 3 last night. Looking to back it up with yet another podium performance here tonight. Much different track, much different racing ahead of us here tonight. We'll see. We'll see who plays the right cards. Right, I'm not gonna keep hitting you with the Vegas casino gambling puns left and right all night. You'll get them now and again. It's it's what I do, but. Anyways, as qualifying begins to come to a close, we're going to get set to step away for a brief sponsor break. Hit trackside for the national anthem. Bring you your starting lineup in 125 miles of racing action lay ahead of us here tonight in the Ayers iRacing Paints Xfinity Series. Swift MotorSports gonna hit the track again. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
So proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
And as promised, bringing you back in trackside as drivers make their way through final pre-race inspection, ready to hit the track tonight. 125 laps ahead of these drivers. Mile-and-a-half track, over 187 miles. We'll see who can stand the test of time. Will we see some early retirements? Clean from green to checkered. Last week at Homestead Miami Speedway, we seen the driver starting in 5th walk away with the race win down there at Homestead. Will we see another clean and green race here tonight? It's Vegas. You don't want to bet against it, because these drivers, high caliber drivers. If there's any field out there that can put together over 200 laps without a caution, it's these Ayers Eye Racing Paints Xfinity Series drivers. We're going to get a little closer to the track as we await the official word. The boss man of the flag stand going to give the command to the pace car, and we will get set for tonight's High Rollers 187. But before we do, how you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, you know who it is, bringing you all the calls from trackside tonight. Final few moments, and we're going to get set to unleash these machines around this 1.5 mile track. Showgirls waiting to dance their way into victory lane, celebrate the night away with a race winner. Who will it be? Will Todd Cray make it to the front from his starting position? Justin Gann, your pole sitter, will bring us to the green flag. And as you hear the familiar sounds in the background, you know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup. And the High Rollers 187, brought to you by Swift Motorsports and Ayers Eye Racing Paints. Inside row number 1, your pole sitter tonight, behind the wheel of that fast number 30 machine, Justin Gann will show the way. Darren Clement, the 32, fast behind the wheel of the Busch number 32. He's got his Camaro looking quick tonight. He'll start outside from 2nd. John McMillan Jr. and Bailey Dutton back in row 2. Row number 3 here tonight, fast as always, Bull Todd Cray in Ray Lane. Cody Sleeper and the Cuban Missile Rocket Roy Fernandez going to make up row 4. Row number 5 tonight, Anthony Keys, followed by the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Stephen Ayers Jr. and John Wimbish back in row 6. Row number 7 tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway belongs to David Seats, as well as Gary May. Jason Branch, John McMillan Sr. back in row 8. Row number 9, Logan McNeil, Kevin Burrows. Brendan Freeze back in the field with us here tonight. Logan Romney, as well as Casey Duncan. Shane Bliss gonna make a start tonight. And these drivers gonna get set to unleash the beast. The music will fade and we will make our way into the Geico restart zone for the first time. And just like that, green flag flies for the first time here from Las Vegas. Up in the seat, quick on the gas. Pole sitter going to step away. 1 car length advantage, utilizing the bottom lane. 15 now looks to the inside. John McMillan Jr. early move to the inside. A little bit of connection problems, looking for the number of van machine. A little bit of now you see him, now you don't. He's going to get it corrected. 2-3 wide front of the field off of 4. Woo, big moment. McMillan Jr. on the bottom almost goes around. 3 wide still for the race lead. Now Todd Cray looks to the inside. Justin Gann, I don't want to say no friend of Cray's, but he's not going to give way. Going to race hard here. Cray slides up at a 2 and takes that top spot away for the first time. New race leader here at Vegas. Don, we appreciate it out there, man. Thanks for watching. I know you got your hands busy up there in race control as well, so hopefully you got a nice, easy night here tonight. Hopefully not a lot of chaos and carnage goes on, but there again it is, racing side by side inside of the top 5, still off of turn number 2. Justin Gann, Ray Lane going at it for positions on the track. They raced each other very well in the Truck Series last night. Much different breed of beast here in the Xfinity Series. Single file for the majority of the field, working their way through the trioval. Looks like most of the battle starting to dissipate a little bit. I'm going to head back here, take a look at this 56 machine of John Wimbish. A little bit of a struggle through the trioval last time around for that Valvoline Camaro. We're going to eye Wimbish as he gets into 3. 4 laps complete. Lap number 5 going to go on the board. We'll drop the time and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you follow along and find your favorite driver in the field here tonight. Jess out there in the chat, good to see you once again. Always rooting for her favorite drivers. Most of them. She knows how to pick them, I'll tell you that much. Most of them all right there at the front of this field. I think all of them inside of the top 5, so... Going to jump around the field a little bit here now. Let's take a look around right near the rear of this field. Taking a look now. The 23 of Kevin Burrows, Gary May, John McMillan Sr. all going at it here. Back of the field. Doesn't matter if it's at the front or the back. We bring you where the action is at. Move to the inside now. Logan Romney struggling on the high side. The Toyota Supra pushing a little bit through the center of 3 and 4. They're going to wash up the track. It's going to open up the door for the 5 to easily make his way to the inside into turn 1 and take the position. Bliss and McMillan Sr. going at it. Final position on the racetrack. We're going to head a little bit further back up through the field. Let's go back here. Cody Sleeper, John Wimbish, 14 machine of Dave Seats right there, all battling for position. We've seen this 0-1 last week of Sleeper really make a big run through the field, right? We were high on him last week at Homestead. We mentioned it multiple times. Look for him to be there at the end. Would expect to see the same here tonight. Falling back a little bit from where he qualified, dropping 4 positions, but running right around that top 10 position. Cody Sleeper, I'm telling you. Something about the driver in the car this season. You're going to have to watch out for him. Mark my word, you heard it here. Still too wide for a handful of positions out there on the track. John Wimbish still going at it with the 14 of Dave Seats. Seats comfortable up there on the high side. He's been there for the past 3 laps. Not rolling over here. He's going to keep the car wound up on the high side of the racetrack. Get that momentum down the back stretch and into turn number 3 with the advantage. 1 car length advantage for the 14. And this is just how important it is really to keep that momentum going. We're going to take a look. Do we got an onboard camera shot, guys? Do we got one? All right, we're going to go with the onboard overhead camera shot here with the America's Navy Accelerate Your Life. Number 28, Fast Ford Mustang, Jason Branch, running 14th on the racetrack. We'll listen to the throttle here. Never really completely out of the gas. Goes to about maybe 75, 50-ish, maybe getting as low as 33 there for a moment. Then just a nice tight little squeeze on the eggshell underneath that gas pedal to get the grip, get the RPMs going, and keep trucking towards the front of the field. Jason Branch, we're going to move to 13th. We're going to take a look outside of the car once again. Jump around the racetrack one more time here. Gary Mage starting to close in on Brandon Freeze. And how about Freeze? Let's go back here. Let's talk about Brandon for a minute. I don't want to say missing in action, but gone for a while. Freeze re-emerging on the scene. behind the wheel of that Palace Construction number 21 Toyota Supra. We'll see if he can make some headway. Already up 3 positions from where he qualified. We'll see if Freeze can find a little bit more speed here tonight under the lights at Las Vegas. Meanwhile, front of the field, Bailey Dutton behind the wheel of that throwback Hardee's machine, still trying to chase down the Crayola 22 of Todd Cray. Cray with a little bit different paint scheme here tonight, but looking good under the lights nonetheless, man. I'm telling you what, thing looks quick. Not just because he's at the front of the field. Something about the colors under the lights, it just seems to hit right. Really like that. Moving on. Dave Seats, Tommy Haynes, Jason Branch still going at it for position. Seats going to move around Haynes on the high side. And there it is again. If you like the high side, you just seem to like it. Seats way up the racetrack there. And check up just a little bit. That's going to give the position back to the 17 of Haynes. 62 of Stephen Ayers Jr. Not too far off in front of them. Nice little look on that 62. The Ayers iRacing Paint sponsored machine with a little look, kind of looks like that old school Havoline machine. You know, the Texaco Havoline machine? Yeah, no. I'm looking over at the people beside me like, you understand? And they're all shaking their heads, so hopefully you get it as well. If not, Google. It can be your best friend. Right. No best friends out front. Todd Cray looking to step away. 0.3 of a second advantage as we make our way back into turns 1 and 2. Cray shows the way. Bottom of the racetrack. 4 drivers starting to step away. Dutton, Lane, Clement right there. Still holding on to each other. Got to pray for a sniff of the draft to stay with. The very fast Cray at the front of the field. Justin Gann sits back in that 5th position. A little bit of a gap. Back to Anthony Keys and John McMillan Jr. Roy Fernandez, the Cuban Missile Rocket, kind of just holding serve right where he started tonight's race, right where he qualified. The Black Rifle Coffee Company number 3. Stars and Stripes on board. Will he see some confetti fly here tonight? Tell you what, that'd be a die-cast of eye, right? Stars and Stripes covered in confetti with Black Rifle Company as the sponsor. You get a bald eagle to land on it, and you never mind. We're gonna stop. We better stop. Big pack of cars still around that 11th, 12th, 13th position, starting with Tommy Haynes in 10th. Stephen Ayers Jr. still working the high side. Cody Sleeper, Jason Branch is still right there as well. Branch with a little bit of a rough go last week. We're going to have a much better finish here tonight. Very early, 20 laps in. Drivers getting ready to roll into that 100 lap left mark. And again, if you were with us last week down in Dade County, Homestead, Miami, Florida, for the Heat Wave 187, these drivers pounded the pavement for 125 laps down there with no caution to speak of. Already opening things up here tonight. 20 lap run behind us. Green flag since the start of tonight's race. So these drivers know how to get it done. You want to rub stars with some of the best in the business. Rub elbows, not stars. You want to rub elbows with the stars, some of the best in the business. Sometimes the brain doesn't work and we got to just keep going. So yeah, we're going to keep going here. Look no further than Swift Motorsports. You can find them iRacing.com. World's #1 racing simulator. If you haven't been on iRacing and you want to jump behind the wheel, there is nothing better. Forget about Forza. Forget about all that Gran Turismo nonsensical stuff. Come where the racing action is at. It doesn't get much realer than this. Find them in the league directories at Swift Motorsports, once again on iRacing.com. Sleeper looking to the inside of Wimbish now. 3 and 4 as they work their way back through the tri-oval. Sleeper still trying to collect a handful of those positions that he lost early here tonight since the drop of the green flag. Now down to 5th position, looking to make it just 4 once again. So a little bit of a struggle here tonight under the lights. Much different race than what we've seen last week, right, race fans? We started in the sunlight, transitioned into night down in Miami here. Full darkness for the entirety of tonight's race. Much different track temperature. Over 100 degrees last week. Under 70 degrees here tonight. We're going to take a look at that as well. We're going to catch in with the weather report here in a handful of laps. We're going to keep our eye on that one. We're going to keep our eye on the racing action. This is your biggest battle right now as of yet. Lap number 24 just about in the bag as John Wimbish does away with Cody Sleeper. Jason Branch now looking to the outside of Tommy Haynes, who's struggling a little bit here with the late run pace, dropping about 3 positions in 4 laps now. Haynes going to move back to 13th. 100 lap to go mark behind us now as Todd Craig going to cross the line, leave us with 100 laps remaining in tonight's High Rollers 187. You're watching the Ayers Eye Racing Paints Xfinity Series. Did we catch you off guard? Good little bit of up close racing action for you here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Still showing the way, Todd Cray out front. Bailey Dutton, Ray Lane, Darren Clement, Justin Gann rounding out your top 5. John McMillan Jr., Anthony Keys, Roy Fernandez, John Wimbish, Cody Sleeper finish it off the top 10. Green flag pit stops just around the corner. I'd expect to see these guys in the next 5 to 7 laps is when I would expect to see these guys in. Somewhere around that lap 33 to lap 37 mark is where I would expect to see these Xfinity Series drivers starting to eyeball pit road, starting to eyeball a little fuel game strategy here at the front. An extra lap or 2 early on the pit road could really benefit you, really get you out there in some clean air. Clean air is always king. We talk about the draft at places like Talladega, Daytona, but in the draft, don't get me wrong, here at these 1.5 miles, these 2-mile tracks like Michigan, Chicagoland, the draft really does help, right? 2 cars drafting at 1.5 miles are going to be quicker anyway than a single car, as we've got drivers to pit road. Cray, Wimbish, Romney all to pit road. Bailey Dutton going to take over the race lead for the first time here tonight. New race leader, 3rd leader of the night. But as we were saying, the difference that it can make by short pitting. We watched Ray Lane really work a short pit strategy last night in the trucks. Not making a big difference on the strategy calls here. More drivers at the front going to head to pit road. Ray Lane going to stay out on the racetrack. Once again, Ray again with some strategy. We've seen him in that hyperdrive, number 44. Ford F-150 last night. Make a strategy play and a fuel mile game out of things. Looking to do so here tonight. He's going to stay out. No, not going to stay out again. He's going to pull the car to the left, head down pit road. Justin Gann, John McMillan Jr., Roy Fernandez, Key Sleeper, Branch, all to pit lane. John McMillan Sr. going to bring the iRacing 51 down pit road as well. Gary May going to follow. Shane Bliss also entering pit road, so that's going to leave the field in the hands of this man right here. But there's Cray steaming on the high side, and he's going to easily take back the race lead, and he's going to really open up this race lead now. Looking at the pit road times, doesn't look like anybody's been popped by the pit road police so far. So clean on and off pit road once again, and this is going to make the 4th green flag stop of the season with no troubles, with no issues, no problems, no crashes, no wrecks, no spinouts, no nothing. These guys have been absolutely flawless. So the field going to get shaken up, spread out a little bit after the first round of green flag pit stops. We want to go highlight this driver right here. Romney to pit road back on lap number 29. He was the first driver onto pit road. Really made some big gains with that short pit strategy. We'll see how long he can hold off a very hungry field. Roy Fernandez going to take 6th away now. John McMillan Jr. easily to the bottom of the racetrack in a round. The 15 moves into 7th. Romney was running around that 11th to 12th position, so right now a net gain for sure, but we'll see if he can hold on. That's always the key with the short. Close right there. Whew. That was about as close to our first caution as I think we've seen all season. Very close quarters here as Romney trying to hold on, but those fresh tires just steamrolling him on the bottom. Short work, and Romney going to fall back to 12th. I don't think the short pit's going to be the way to go here tonight. Cray out to almost a 2-second advantage. Bailey Dutton half a second advantage on Darren Clement. Another 2 seconds back to Justin Gann sitting in 4th. Ray Lane another 4 seconds from that to Roy Fernandez. So Gann in the lane again, mixing things up. We've seen him mixing things up last night. And here we are again. Familiar faces in familiar places. Once again, man, I'm telling you. Guys, let's go back to that battle around that 10th position. Let's go back here. Cody Sleeper, John Wimbish, Tommy Haynes. These guys were all over each other pre-pit stop. They're right back running with each other once again. Seats, Wimbish, Sleeper, Haynes, all right here. Just unable to really get away from each other. Switching positions, swapping spots, but just really unable to get away from each other. Handful of drivers back behind them. How about Jason Branch, Kevin Burrows going out at 12th and 13th on the racetrack. Burrows up 6 positions from where he qualified, so a good night so far here for that 23 Camaro. Single file, majority of the field. We're going to try to jump around to some more of these battles that we've got going on around the racetrack. Let's take a look back here just a little bit further on the track. There you can see Jason Branch, Kevin Burrows right there, Anthony Keys. Look at that mid to high lane. He's made up a handful of 10s. Well, we apologize. No, that's going to be the 18 of Shane Bliss. Bliss making some headway here. Bliss listed off of the lead lap behind the wheel of that 18. But showing some good speed here. To take a look at one of the fastest laps, and indeed inside one of the fastest laps of tonight's race. Shane Bliss tearing it up right now. And back at the front, they've sorted out somewhat. Ray Lane seems to be pretty comfortable running where he's at. Let's jump on board, get a feel for behind the wheel as we drive around this beautiful 1.5 mile tri-oval right here in Sin City. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway hosts tonight's High Rollers 187, brought to you by the Ayers Eye Racing Paints. Notice not a lot of pull on the wheel. You don't see a lot of big movement out of the hands. A little bit of sawing here and there, but more importantly, right here off of turn 4, no counter steer. And what I mean by that counter steer is he's not catching the car up the track, turning right. When you're on dirt, turning right's not bad for you, but when you're pavement racing, Xfinity racing, if you want to be as fast as 5G, you can't be counter steering. It's counterproductive. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't. Anyways, handful of laps in the car. The 44 of Ray Lane running in that 5th position. Roy Fernandez unable to close in into 3, sitting in that 6th spot. Fernandez is just kind of hung out right where he's been running. Started in that 8th position after the pit stops, running in 6th, and kind of in somewhat no man's land. He does have John McMillan Jr. starting to close in on him. There you can see the iRacing Exalted Canada sponsored number 15. He's going to look to the high side here, and Fernandez not going to make it easy on him. Over 170 laps of green flag action to kick off season number 6 here with Swift Motorsports. If that doesn't let you know how good these drivers are, I guess I need to get a neon flashing light for you. I mean, let's take a look at what the trucks did at Daytona. Let's take a look at what those Cup guys did. Big wrecks, wadding them up left and right. We've been almost 200 laps of green flag racing without a caution. Don, Justin, Andy, the whole team over there at Swift, I don't know how you guys managed to find such high caliber talent to fill out these fields, but whew, amazing. Best in the business, I'll put my money on it. Told you that last night about the Truck Series drivers. I'll tell you that again here about these Xfinity Series drivers. Best in the business. Put them up against any league, any series. And these guys they're gonna hurt your feelings. Hurting the field's feelings right now. Still out front. Grabbed the top spot early here tonight. Lap number 3, Todd Cray went to the front of the field. Has only given up the race lead to come to pit road to put fuel and tires on. Being able to really manage that race lead, was out to a 1.3 second advantage. Now that gap has closed down to just under 1 second. As Cray's maybe slowing things down a little bit here, saving a little more fuel. Going to get a little more in line. Last time around he came to pit road 1 lap prior to his competition. We'll see if he gets a little more on track. His driver's already entering that phase of eyeballing pit road again, right? about 10 laps away from seeing green flag pit stops for the second time here tonight. We'll see if anybody gets caught by the pit road police yet. We haven't even had a pit road penalty yet. I mean, guys, give me something. You gotta make a mistake. Actually, do what you do. But, you know. Casey out in the chat, thanks for checking in with us. Tough break here tonight. Sorry to hear about the troubles. And again, just like in the real world, you know, you can have mechanical problems. We'll chalk up PC issues as a mechanical or technical issue. Maybe to see... maybe to see you next week on track, Casey. Good to see you back with us. We'll see if you can't get that Supra on the track as we move forward throughout the season. Still early in the season, still a long way to go. The caliber of drivers here and the type of drivers they are. Casey having issues here tonight, unable to finish tonight's race due to mechanical failures. And guarantee you will see that 11 again, and you will see him on track next week. Let's head around the field a little bit. Let's close in right here. Battle still going on 6th and 7th on the racetrack. John McMillan Jr. finally able to take the top spot. Well, not the top spot. Take the spot away from Roy Fernandez, who put up one heck of a fight. Yeah, and that's a tough one to deal with. Casey, I hope we get you all fixed up. I'm sure one of the many much more intellectual individuals in the group can help you get those things kind of sorted out. Me, I'm the type of guy, I try something one or two times, and if it doesn't work, I go get the hammer. And if that doesn't work, add to cart. And trust me, again, I know the frustrations very personally for all the fans out there watching in TV land. Last week, they'll remember, and hopefully we don't jinx ourselves, about halfway through the race, the timing and scoring just absolutely went out. We tried to recover it during a green flag commercial break, unable to do so, tried multiple more times throughout the race, and just, again, we said it last week. I forget who it was in here with us in the chat. And that they said technology is great until it isn't. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. So we'll stop ranting, going off about things that don't particularly pertain to the race, but we'll get to the racing action at the front of the field for sure. Todd Cray now has company at the front of the field. Bailey Dutton has closed in. Running them down towards the end of this green flag cycle here. Will that bring Darren Clement and possibly Justin Gann back into the mix? Gann kind of right in the middle now between Darren Clement and Ray Lane. So Gann able to distance himself just a little bit. And there it is, moved to the bottom. Ray not going to put up much of a fight, looking for the crossover. Not going to happen. He's going to be forced to run in the tire tracks of the Toyota Supra as Bailey Dutton goes back to the race lead once again. Only 4 different race leaders here tonight. About, what's it been now? 5 lead changes? With it coming right at that green flag pit stop, I wonder if it's a calculated move. I wonder if Cray would rather, knowing that Dutton was closing in, I wonder if he would rather be behind him coming to pit road than in front of him. But in that same aspect, you now have 2 drivers battling for position behind you. that you're going to have to worry about when you're coming to pit lane now. So if Cray doesn't come to pit lane this time around, he may find himself in a worse position than just trying to get to pit road with Dutton behind. And they say the racing community doesn't think, that our brains aren't big enough. Just think of everything that I just said. And that's all going on in the head of the man behind the wheel, inside of that machine. All of that's going on, still having to keep it at speeds of upwards 180 plus miles an hour, getting it to the corner. Listening to a crew chief and a spotter in your ears as well. So a lot goes on for these drivers to deal with. You can see the flames coming out of the right side, on the brakes, on the binders. Todd Cray going to bring it to pit road. Kevin Burrows was already the first driver on the pit road. Todd Cray going to be the first from the front of the field to come to pit lane. When will Dutton come to pit road? 1 lap difference on the fuel and tires during our first green flag stint. Will he try to extend this one? Maybe get a second or third lap over Cray? Because he had the late run pace, right? You know you got the late run pace. You know you're going to give up a little bit of time, but you know, why not let Cray get out there on those Dr. Feelgoods and kind of tear him up, open up a gap, sure, but you're going to eat him alive at the end of the run. We've seen it kind of happen there. There you can see on the binders a little bit of flames out of the tailpipes, and indeed, whoa, big slide. Justin Gannon with a moment as well. Here comes that Busch. Number 32, Clement to pit road cleanly. That's going to move Ray Lane back to the point. It's going to be our 7th lead change of the night. 4 different race leaders so far through tonight's High Rollers 187, brought to you by Ayers Eye Racing Paints. So who you got? Right, we're just at the halfway point. Green flag pit cycle underway. Lane to pit road. McMillan Jr. to pit road. Jason Branch, what's this 28 Navy? Accelerate your life, machine dude. Looks like he's going to be heading to pit road as well. 18 to Shane Bliss going to bypass pit road for now. Todd Cray up to speed, making his way around the track. There you can see the gap back to Bailey Dutton. Justin Gann right behind Dutton now. And Gann with a good pit stop. He's going to make up some ground. He's going to make up some time here. Roy Fernandez also with another fantastic pit stop, man. Fernandez on it tonight. And as Todd Craig crosses the line, lap number 66 gonna go on the board. We are past the halfway point here tonight, and Todd Cray has led the majority of tonight's race under the lights here in Las Vegas. Beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway hosting tonight's High Rollers 187. Cray now enjoys a 2.2. The second advantage, look for that time to dissipate over the course of this third green flag run. Justin Gann sitting back in third, able to pick up a spot on Darren Clement. Ray Lane now rounds out your top 5. Roy Fernandez still in the top 10. He's been inside the top 10 all race long. Just a good season so far for Fernandez. Just some good solid runs to start things off. We'll see if Fernandez can't get that number 3 back to victory lane. We've seen him with the checkered flag, with the race win a handful of times in season number 5. But in a new ride, no longer in those Gen 4 machines. The guys back behind the wheel of a much more familiar machine. These Xfinity cars, some of the best on the platform, in my opinion. There again, my opinion, you don't have to agree with it. Absolutely love the dirt big blocks, though. So a little late on the mid-race report. We'll give you your halfway rundown here as Todd Craig across the line put lap number 70 on the board. We started tonight's race with 22 drivers. We have still got 21 out there on the track, but only 13 remain on the lead lap. Oh no, a handful of drivers have gotten their laps back during this green flag pit cycle. All right, how about Stephen Ayers Jr., Gary May, Brandon Fries, all making their way back onto the lead lap. So a great job by all of those drivers. The strategy and the fuel game working to their advantage for the time being. Todd Craig still right around 2 seconds out front. Darren Clement right here trying to track down Justin Gann. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it here in the next handful of laps. Trying to find as many of the battles as we can, bring you as much action as we can possibly provide here tonight. Whoa, big trouble behind. I believe that may have been Kevin Burrows. No carnage, no chaos, just straight racing action here with Swift MotorSports Ayers iRacing Paints Xfinity Series. These drivers have been at it for 73 laps straight. No cautions, no brakes, no protein bars, no milkshakes, no nothing. You're going to have to drive this thing out to the end. We've got a race looking like it's going to go green to checkers all night long, just like we seen last week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Could these drivers open up season number 6 with a 250 lap trek with no cautions? What say you out there watching in TV land? Can these drivers possibly finish tonight's race without a caution, opening up season number 6 with 2 races caution free? Let me get a I don't know, let's make it interesting here. Let's get a well, I don't even know what they allow out there. You guys, you have no idea? Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let's get, let's just make it easy. Let's get a yes they can or a no they can't. Let's make it simple, right? I'm thinking they do. I think we're really going to see these Ayers iRacing Paints Xfinity Series drivers open up season number 6 with 2 completely green flag races. From start to finish, I think these guys are going to put it together. I mean, it has that look, it has that feel, some great racing action. We're going to see the field come back together. Already Todd Craig's 2.3 second advantage, now down to under 1 second. Just about halfway through this green flag run. We've already had 2 green flag pit stops here tonight, already about halfway to our 3rd green flag pit stop of the night. These drivers may have to make a 4th one to have enough fuel to get to the end. I'm telling you, man, what a way to set the bar. What a way to make a mark. Right, You want to recruit people? You want to have those high caliber drivers? This is how you do it. Over 20 drivers on the track right now. No cautions to speak of both last week and so far here tonight. This is how you maintain standards, right? I mean, it's how Red Bull is so good in F1. It's how Mercedes dominated for years in Formula One. Standards. You either meet them or you go somewhere else. Whoa, and caution. Oh boy, caution. Looks like Anthony Keys gonna be the victim, and he's gonna be the first driver with trouble here tonight. First driver with trouble here in season number 6. And maybe a little bit of broadcaster's curse. Hopefully nobody's upset with us. Gonna take a look. Let's see, guys. We got a shot of that one. What went on back here with this 87? Anthony Keys with some trouble. Just up the track, yeah. Ooh, big hit. That is a massive hit right there. Let's take a look one more time at the replay here. The Simbox replay on board with John McMillan Sr. and across the nose and violent hit into that inside safer barrier. There goes the engine. It has popped. It is done. And that's going to change things up here as we go back live at the front of the field. We're going to be eating our words for a little while now here. First caution of the season. Man, drivers went, what was it? Right at 200 miles. 200 laps. 125 last week. Right at 80 here tonight. Still, an amazing, phenomenal job. Pit road was opened last time by Ray Lane, Tommy Haynes, John Wimbish, Kevin Burrows, Anthony Keys, John McMillan Sr., all to pit lane. So as things shake out and they clean the debris up, we're going to get rid of the timing and scoring for just a handful of moments. Step away for a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back after these short words.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
In back trackside, as promised, not missing any green flag action here tonight in the High Rollers 187. First caution of the season flying here on lap number 79 here tonight. Just under. Well, we should say just over 40 laps remaining here tonight for these Ayers High Racing Paints Xfinity Series drivers. Now we're going to ask a big question. You know the old school moniker, cautions breed cautions, right? We're going to group this field back together, get them nice and tight, and we're going to send them off to race with right at 40 laps remaining. The checkered flag held out in front of them like a carrot for a horse. This is where you got to go get it. if you're having problems or struggling working your way back up through the field, now is the time. Now is that opportunity. Do you kick the door wide open, or do you play it safe for a good point stay? I don't know. The one finger wave brought to you by the boss man of the flag stand. 1 to go. Pace car lights off. Field off of turn number 2. We're going to get double file once again, and we're going to get set to go back green flag racing here tonight under the lights, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You're watching Swift Motorsports airs iRacing paints on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Norwood takes the pace car back down pit road. Wait for it on the loud pedal, and away we go. Green flag flies once again. Todd Craig gonna bring us back to racing easily out front. Good jump on the field. Bailey Dutton gonna have to settle for second. Here comes Justin Gann looking to the inside. Close racing to 3 wide through the field once again. Big wiggle on the bottom for McMillan Jr. Let's keep our eyes back here, guys. We've got a hornet's nest going on. Darren Clement, top of the racetrack. Roy Fernandez right in the tire tracks. Right behind them, Cody Sleeper, Jason Branch, Ray Lane, Seats, and Ayers Jr. going at it. Tommy Haynes picking up a position on the restart. Lap 85 goes on the board. We'll complete this latest lap, drop that timing and scoring. Back to the left-hand side of your screen once again. Oh, and trouble in the field. Trouble in the back. Brandon Freeze turned into the outside wall. We're going to keep it green flag, though. Everybody keeps it headed in the right direction, but big trouble now. Anthony Keys, Brandon Freeze going to come together, and both going to head to pit lane. So with lap 86 on the board, drivers hanging it out sideways coming off of turn number 2. We're going to drop the timing and scoring once again. Let you find your favorite driver in this field. But there it was, just tight racing, man. Very close racing. Trouble on the backstretch. Drivers going to sort it out. Big issues here for Darren Clement. Slow on the front stretch. Tommy Haynes going to motor his way around on the bottom of the racetrack. And what a turnaround for Haynes, right? Running around that 8th to 12th position for the majority of tonight's race. Car looking quick right now. To Haynes from making the pass on the bottom. He's going to head to the high side of the racetrack and now look to take the position away from Justin Gannon. Going to do it. Back to the high side here in 1 and 2. Look at that momentum. Haynes has found the line. Tommy Haynes is working his way to the front. Now all over the rear deck lid, looking back to the bottom, slicing his way to the front. Haynes to the point. Tommy Haynes, new race leader at a turn number 4. Will cross the line, and Haynes will put a lap lead in his back pocket. Great run there for Haynes through this field. My goodness, carved the field up. We've still got side-by-side racing action throughout this field. John Wimbish looking to the inside of John McMillan Jr. to 3 wide. Check out Dutton, Cray, and Gann just in front of Wimbish. Now going to be a 4-car battle. McMillan Jr. fading just a little bit, maybe playing a little bit of strategy here. Majority of the field did not come to pit road under our latest caution. Tommy Haynes, fresh tires? Well, you see the benefit. we're hearing word, race chatter. Haynes is going to have to make yet another pit stop here tonight. So drivers with those fresh tires, Tommy Haynes, John Wimbish, now front of the field, they're going to have to try to build this gap. And that's exactly what Haynes is doing. Almost a 2-second advantage here now. With fresh tires on the field, he's going to look to open this thing up. Put enough distance between himself. Needing, hoping, wanting this thing to stay green from here on out, for this strategy to pan out and work out. The guys behind him that pitted on lap 63, Bailey Dutton, Justin Gann, Todd Cray, 3rd, 4th, 5th on the racetrack, they're going to have to hit pit road pretty soon. In the next 5 to 6 laps, I would expect to see the drivers that stayed out come to pit road for what should be their final stop of the night. If you put enough distance between yourself and them while they come to pit road, you built that buffer. You can then hit pit road, come out, and be right there in the fight. So I'm looking at this strategy now. And for Haynes and Wimbish, Gary May now up to 4th position. I'm liking it. Man, if this thing stays green all the way to the end, and with that Van Noy construction, number 17 of Haynes out front, 1.7 seconds on John Wimbish already right now. Wimbish just kind of struggled to work his way through the traffic. Gary May struggled to get through traffic as well, 4 seconds back. Unless Haynes has some problems, only real driver he's got to worry about now is that 56 Valvoline machine right behind him. He's got to worry about the other 20-plus drivers on the track. He doesn't need any trouble. He doesn't need to see that caution flag fly. But I'm liking this 17 strategy right now. And I don't think there's much Cray or anybody else can do about it. 22 has come to pit road for what should be his final stop of tonight's race. Jason Branch going to follow suit. He's going to come to pit road this time around. Rest of the field staying out on the track. Knocking on the door of that 100 lap threshold, 25. Well, we'll call it 30 laps to go for now. We won't, confuse anybody out there. Just around the corner, man. These guys, I'm telling you, even with the caution here tonight, 250 laps with one caution. Get out of here. Looking to get out of here in a big way with a checkered flag in hand is the man at the front of the field, halfway down the backstretch, about a 15-car length advantage over John Wimbish, as the majority of the field has begun to trickle to pit road. Gann, Clement, Sleepers, Ayers Jr., McNeil, all on the pit road. We would expect to see Dutton, McMillan Jr., Fernandez, Seats to pit road this time by. And we were right, all of them going to come to pit road. So here it is. We're going to take a look at this, right? Pit road delta. That means on and off pit road. That's not counting the in lap. That's not counting the out lap. That's when you cross it's line to line on pit road, including the pit stop. We're looking at around 42, 43 seconds. Out front right now in front of Todd Cray. Over a lap out front. We're lapping around the track at 31 seconds. So if this 17 can manage, and we almost had ourselves another caution. We've got a car on the front stretch very slow. There you can see right there, I believe that may have been. We're looking through the field. That may have very well have been, looking for the number, I believe that might have been Logan McNeil. Was very slow there for a moment. But as we were saying, if he can hit pit road, even if Todd Cray is just starting to get to him, he's going to have such an advantage in the tire department. Keep in mind, these drivers only had 3 sets of tires in the pits. We've had 3 green flag pit stops. Some drivers came to pit road under caution and changed tires. So, who has tires left? There's a lot going on. The Haas Automation's number 12 machine going to make his way to the inside. And yes, indeed, it was that 12 machine down there on the apron, coming through the triangle just a handful of laps ago, but with the much, much fresher tires, easily made up that disadvantage. It worked his way from 2 laps down back to just 1 lap down here tonight. So a great job from McNeil, just persevering through the problems and the issues, working his way back around the track. 23 laps remain. Race leader, he's going to have to bring that Van Noy Construction Bang Energy number 17. Yeah, you thought you slid that Bang logo in and we wouldn't notice, huh? I'm just saying. See, this is why I have my issues. What's your favorite Bang flavor? I like the unicorn. It's pretty good. I'm just saying. We're going to leave that there and move on. Todd Cray, first driver on and off pit road that pitted back at lap 63. He's got a pretty decent advantage here, just about a half a second over Justin Gann. Bailey Dutton right there, still in the mix. Cody Sleeper, Roy Fernandez, Jason Branch, Ray Lane round out your top 10. And at this point in this green flag run, if you're the 17 of Haynes, if you're John Wimbish, if you're Gary May, at this point, you won't mind the caution. As long as you got fresh tires on pit road. May's going to wave the white flag. He's going to head to pit road early here. 20 laps to go. Gary May brings the 5 to pit lane. Dare we say the cream rising to the top? And there it is. Haynes going to bring it to pit road. John Wimbish to pit road. Todd Cray back onto the lead lap. We're going to head over here with Todd Cray. We're going to watch Cray and Gann go at it for what could be the... Oh my God. The eventual race lead. And these guys, they ain't pulling no punches. If that camera shot didn't show you enough about how these drivers race, I don't know. Ooh, slide job. About 6 inches clear for the slide job. Justin Gann going to stay out 2 laps longer. And he's going to grab the spot. Gann, Cray, both leapfrog Tommy Haynes and John Wimbish. And I don't think those drivers were able to get fresh tires either. That's going to spell trouble now. Haynes and Wimbish falling through the field 5th and 7th. Gann, your pole sitter, back at the front of the field, leading tonight's race. Less than 20 laps to go. And as we were saying, cream rising to the top, right? Gann has been quick all night. Walked away with the pole position. Here he is towards the end of tonight's race, showing the way around the track. Justin Gann doing an amazing job. Todd Cray, dominating performance, really. Class of the field for the majority of the night. Green flag pit cycle may come back to bite him in the end. But last week's race winner, running well once again. Bailey Dutton, teammate to the drivers in front, running well again for the second night in a row this week, for the second time behind the wheel of these Xfinity rides. Roy Fernandez, what a night for Fernandez, sitting here in fourth. The Cuban Missile Rocket up 4 positions from where he qualified, knocking on the door of that podium finish. And Craig really struggling now. He's going to give up the second position now to Bailey Dutton. Now just 1.3 seconds out in front of Roy Fernandez. I'm telling you, Fernandez can get there. He might be a problem for Craig to have to deal with. Cody Sleeper inside of the top 5, sitting in that 5th position, the 01 machine, up 2 spots from where he qualified, so able to overcome the adversity early here tonight. MGM Brakes Detroit Gas 01 not only regained the 5 spots that he lost at the start of the race, but he's picked up another 2. An amazing job for Sleeper. How about this 44 of Rain Lane? He's been inside the top 10 all night long, running well here tonight under the lights. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the High Rollers 187. We've got 14 to go as drivers make their way through the tri-oval. Gonna jump around to a handful of drivers, a handful of battles out here. Tommy Haynes, John Wimbish going at it for position on the racetrack, 8th and 9th as they go. And we're looking here, and judging by the time in the pit box, I don't think either of these drivers were able to take tires. It looks like a possible fuel-only stop for both of these teams. I mean, they're going to have to worry because they've got some company behind them. Gary May and Dave Seats right there as well. Seats with fresh tires, though. Will that 14 become an issue for the 3 that are in front? What looked like a good strategy about 15 laps ago, fortunately, not panning out, not paying off. Battle for the race lead, front of the field. Bailey looking to take the top spot, have a little bit of bragging rights going into the office on Wednesday morning. Can Dutton follow up the last night's race-winning performance at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Performance Motorsports Truck Series here with Swift? Could he follow it up and go back-to-back visits to victory lane this week? How sweet would that be, Roy? 1-1 in the win column amongst teammates Todd Cray and Bailey Dutton. Justin Gannon was looking to break into the winner column and pull even with both of his teammates, but Dutton, he's wanting to put himself aside, set himself apart, drifting up the track almost into that rear deck lid. And those Toyotas almost tangling up there off of turn number 2. high five from the boss man to the flag stand last time around. Just 5 laps to go. Bailey Dutton gonna lead him into 3. 4 going to be remaining here tonight in the high rollers. 187 for the Airs High Racing Paints Xfinity Series. What a race, what a turnaround. Little bit of strategy play at the end of tonight's race. It's not going to pan out for Haynes, Wimbish, or Gary May. The 14 of Dave Seats able to work his way to those trio of drivers and around. Seats will now move into 8th. Still a great run, though. Great shot at it for Tommy Haynes, Gary May, and John Wimbish. They threw the kitchen sink at it. Unfortunately, it may have needed a refrigerator to go along with it. Battles have dissipated. Drivers have separated themselves. Halfway down the backstretch, the Hardys throw back number 26 of Bailey Dutton, the super, looking super under the lights here in Sin City. Popsicle stick's gonna go on display. Just 2 laps remain. The High Rollers 187 for the Airs Eye Racing Paints Xfinity Series, brought to you by Swift, right here on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. Week in, week out, get your adrenaline fix right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Swift coming at you Monday and Tuesday nights, and coming across the line this time around. White flag will fly. Final lap here tonight. And that's going to do it. No problems out front for Dutton to worry about. Big gap back to Justin Gann. And just like that, Bailey Dutton gonna visit victory lane for the first time behind the wheel of this Xfinity Series ride, but he's gonna make it a second victory this week. Job well done. What a run, and Dutton will enjoy the post-race celebration with the showgirls in victory lane. Can't ask for much more than that. An amazing run here tonight. Led the most laps at the end of tonight's race, but more importantly, led the most important one, and that's the final lap here tonight. Bailey Dutton gonna walk away with the checkered flag. So as he gets ready to burn it down, give the fans in the stands a little bit of a smoke show here with his post-race celebrations, we're going to get set to get things ready to go for your post-race interviews. We're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's High Rollers 187 for Swift Motorsports Airs iRacing Paints Xfinity Series. What a ride! What a run! We seen almost in a complete race. Green flag once again here with these Xfinity Series drivers. Only one caution will fly on lap number 79. An amazing night of racing under the lights, and we're going to dive right into our post-race show. Let's see if we can dial up and have a few words with the man behind the wheel of that Black Rifle Company number 3 machine. Roy, it's Dave. You got us? Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid night here tonight? A great run, long green flag action. How proud are you of the team, the pit crew, and of yourself?
4X, we definitely strategized pretty well and kind of got a lot of feedback from each other in practice, so we kind of knew, kind of what the tires were going to do and, kind of the fuel runs we were going to have. So fortunately, we were able to have that communication early to kind of give us a good finish here. Wish I could have been able to get a few more laps. I think I would have gotten a couple more spots, maybe even P1, but hey, it is what it is. I'm happy with the top 3.
Well, man, a good way to start off the season here. We're going to head into next week's race. How are you settling back in this Xfinity Series ride after jumping into that little bit of an old school Cup car?
Yeah, I think I've had a little bit more time in the seat with the Xfinity Series versus that Gen 4, especially when they introduced a different the horsepower package with that Gen 4 series. But no, I like the Xfinity. I've raced on it quite a few times. I think it's one of the, kind of better cars to kind of drive for a racer, honestly. But it feels a little bit tight lately. I don't know what might have been done in the updates, but no, she feels good. Feels good.
Well, Roy, always a pleasure to catch up with you at the end of these things. We hope to catch up with you in Victory Lane at some point throughout this season. You're on a roll now. We'll see how things go over the next handful of weeks for you. But before we let you go, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank Swift Motorsports. I'd like to thank Black Rifle Company. It's my sponsor here on the Xfinity Chevrolet. I'd like to thank my team, 4X, Cody, Jason, KC, all those guys here. Day in and day out, we're always working together to try to get a nice finish here when we're racing and have a good time. And, last but not least, my wife upstairs and my little one, Maria, as well.
Well, man, we appreciate all of the kind words. I know, especially smart man thanking the wife of the kid. I'll give you props on that as always, Roy. You are no dummy on and off the track. I can promise you that, my friend. Good to see you once again. We hope we get to talk to you soon. Until then, as always, stay safe and keep that thing fast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dave. You have yourself a good night.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away with the final podium spot here tonight. Walking away with third behind the wheel of that Black Rifle Coffee Company number 3 machine. Roy Fernandez gonna park it on the podium, and that's gonna move us right on into things. Let's see if we can't talk to your pole sitter here tonight. Almost got that race win, but Justin, gotta be happy with second.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna get beat by anybody, I'm glad it's a teammate. I disappointed, thought I had it, but sometimes that's just how it goes.
Well, man, you had a decent run all race long. I mean, was there anything that you think you may have been able to do different to, we'll call it, change the results?
Yeah, we were talking down there, and it's probably just laid back a little too much at that first run. If I wouldn't have done that, I just wasn't sure if I was going to have enough fuel at the end or any draft partners to pull off of, because that's what was really going to get you the 31 laps that you really needed each run. So turns out I probably would have had that, and I could have gone hard the first run, but I was here at the end, so that's all that matters.
Well, kind of like Tony Stewart is to SRX, you kind of are to Swift Motorsports, one of the drivers, and I'll say admin officials. We'll just keep it that simple, I guess. To be able to run week in, week out with the crew of drivers that you guys have. And I'm just going to throw this out here. 250 laps of racing, one caution. You guys did over 200 laps before you seen your first caution. How pleased are you with not just yourself and your team, but the entire field? Clean on pit road, no pit road penalties. Man, how good is Swift?
Oh yeah, we're excited, man. You know, we're trying to build this place up and bring in the drivers that put on the races that you guys are seeing tonight. So it's starting to pay off. So hopefully we'll get a few more drivers into the league, and you know, we'll be able to battle door to door and put on an even better show than we do now.
Well, man, if you do, I might need to get me a partner because you guys start to hurt my jaw without these cautions, man. Man, you don't give me a break up here, dude. No, I'm just playing, man. Always a fantastic job, week in, week out. Congratulations on a second place run. You know the drill, so we're gonna be quiet and hand you the mic.
All right, yeah. Give a shout out to Performance Motorsports, everybody on the team putting in the work each week to get us up front. Hyperdrive Racing, Sim Magic, everybody behind the scenes over at Swift. You guys up in the booth, and definitely got to give a shout out to Jessica, you know, rooting us on in the chat.
Yeah, week in, week out, we can always find. I've even started calling her cousin Jess myself because I see her just about as much as Todd does, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, just an amazing night for you, the crew, the entire Series League sponsors as well. This is a showcase of it. Justin showcasing your talent once again. Pole position, second place tonight. We'll see if you can keep the ride going for the rest of Season 6. Until next time, my man, as always, stay safe. Keep it fast.
Appreciate it, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Justin Gann, happy with the way things are unfolding in season number 6. Happy the way things unfolded here tonight under the lights at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And that's going to move us right along to the man dancing along with these showgirls celebrating in victory lane for the second time this week. Bailey, it never gets too old, does it?
It never gets old, Dave.
Does it feel any better doing it here at Las Vegas, knowing that, you know, you got right up the road and you can take those race winnings and do whatever you please with them?
Yeah, that adds to it, but nothing beats going up on Todd.
We were going to wait for a little bit longer in the interview to bring it up, but yes, indeed. 2-1 now, so bragging rights tomorrow at the office. That's going to feel good. And I don't know if the rest of their, excuse me, your teammates, or not even your teammates, the rest of the field's going to like the fire that you're probably going to, you know, you're poking the bear. You know what I mean? Like, you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, I might wake him up and he could come out and put it on me for the rest of the year, but that's kind of what makes it fun, right?
Absolutely. Well, Bailey, great run for you. You walked away with it there at the end of tonight's race. When did you guys decide that strategy of staying out under that first and only caution and sticking true to those fuel numbers?
It was a bit of a gamble. We didn't really know who double stinted early in the race, so we felt like our best chance was to stay out, run the fuel out, and see what we can do with the remainder of the race, and just pray for no more cautions, because another caution and whoever had better tires than us was gonna just dominate. So it was pretty much stay out and hope that's the last one.
Well, it was the last one, and you walked away with the second checkered flag of the week. First checkered flag here in season number 6 behind the wheel of the Xfinity ride. We look to see you back in victory lane more times this season. Before we let you go and celebrate the rest of the night away, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, you for putting on the broadcast, Swift, for putting all this together, Performance Motorsports, Assassin Motorsports, Reaper Speed Labs, and also I forgot to mention yesterday, Todd's cousin Jess shouted me out on the broadcast one time, so I'll give her a shout out right back. Uh, and I believe that's it.
All right, well, short and sweet and to the point. I know all the fans out there appreciate the comments. I know cousin Jess is listening. Give it a good thumbs up and has a smile on her face getting to victory lane here tonight behind the wheel of that 26 machine. Bailey, a pleasure as always. We look to catch up with you throughout the rest of the season. You know the drill. You know the moniker. Stay safe. And as always, my friend, keep that thing fast.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, there it is. Short, sweet, and right to the point. Doesn't matter. He's up on Todd. He's got 2 wins to Todd's 1. That's all he cares about. And if that's what drives the force behind that 26 and into victory lane, the rest of the field better watch out. I think we're going to have ourselves a heavyweight battle unfolding here in the next handful of weeks between teammates at that. Cousin Jess, you might be put in a bad spot. You might have to root for just one of them. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to watch it all unfold right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. That's going to do it for our post-race show. An amazing night, an amazing run here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And you can hear those familiar sounds in the background. You know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the High Roller 187, brought to you by Ayers iRacing Paints and Swift Motorsports in partnership with Premier Racing Setups. You can find a link to their website down in the description. But kicker, the future is feeling. Walking away with the checkered flag here tonight behind the wheel of that 26, Bailey Dutton. Going to celebrate the night away. Teammate Justin Gann right behind him in second. Roy Fernandez walking away with third. Todd Gray finishing tonight's race after leading a handful of laps. Gray going to finish in fourth. Cody Sleeper up to fifth tonight. Sliding home in sixth is that 44 of Ray Lane. Jason Branch going to pilot to 28, home to a seventh place showing, while the 14 of Dave Seats comes home in eighth. Gary made ninth here tonight, and finishing out your top 10 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the High Rollers 187. John Wimbish will finish out that top 10. Race strategy didn't pan out for Tommy Haynes. He's going to come home in 11th, with Kevin Burrows behind him in 12th. The number 12 machine of Logan McNeil back in 13th, 14th tonight. The Busch number 32 machine of Darren Clement. Stephen Ayers Jr. back in 15th, 16th tonight. Shane Bliss, Brandon Freeze. And the 21 machine has some early trouble. He'll finish in 18th, 19th tonight. Anthony Keys with John McMillan Sr. finishing in 20th. Logan Romney back in 21st. And final driver in the 22 car field, the number 11 of Casey Duncan. Early mechanical issues brought him to the hauler. Big shout out and tip of the cap to Andy Starcher and Don Kidder, race control and admins here at Swift Motorsports, the unsung heroes week in, week out. That's it for us. If you haven't already, join us in the Push to 3,000. Show these drivers some love and drop thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay loved, and we'll meet you in Turn 3.